How's it going? This is East Coast Pete. Guess what? By doing my shows, I have developed respect for Pearl Jam. In fact, a great respect. I'm now a fan of Pearl Jam. Now, I might not be able to get this show out to you guys because it might get taken down for copyright infringement, but I don't mind it if Pearl Jam does that to me. I'm not sure that they would be doing it. Doesn't matter. They're the only band that cares enough about their audience that they just care. I give them a lot of credit. So here we go. Pearl Jam, American rock band formed in 1990 in Seattle. Eddie Vedder on vocals, Mike McCready on lead guitar, Stone Gossard on rhythm guitar, Jeff Ament on bass, and Mike Cameron on drums. Keyboardist Boom Gaspar is a session/touring member. Mother Love Bone broke up. Pearl Jam was born. These guys are interesting. Stone Gossard and Jeff Ament were in early grunge band Green River in the mid-'80s. In '87, Ament and Gossard began playing with Malfunction vocalist Andrew Wood. This was the bare bone of Mother Love Bone. MLB recorded and toured in '88 and '89 and signed with Polygram. Their debut album, Apple, was released 4 months after Andy Wood died of a heroin overdose. Wood's band Malfunction was formed in 1980 with his brother Kevin and Reagan Hagar. They are sometimes cited as the founding fathers of the Seattle grunge scene. Wood entered rehab in '85 and Malfunction disbanded. Wood began work with Green River with Stone Gossard and Jeff Ament. Wood's Green River became Mother Love Bone in '88. Hey you guys, let's change the name of your band since, you know, I'm here. Don't worry, I just got out of rehab because I totally feel so much better now. Thank you for asking. He actually went back to rehab to get clean for the release of Apple. Addicts don't get well. They're always in recovery, in or out of rehab. Wood couldn't help himself, but he was living a lie, and in 1990, one hot shot took his life. Excuse me 1 second. Wood was born in Columbus, Mississippi, raised in Bainbridge Island, Washington. Wood loved music as a kid. Elton John, Queen, Aerosmith, and Kiss were his go-to bands. Malfunction was formed when Wood was only 14. The trio took stage names. Andy was Landrew the Love Child. Brother Kevin was Kevin Stein, and Hagar was Thundar. Wood saw himself as a hippie, glammed-out rocker. Half Jim Morrison, half Mark Bolan. Wood smoked cigarettes from age 11. By 1985, he was relying heavily on intoxicants to protect his rock star persona. This is bullshit. Addicts don't do drugs for a reason. They do it to feel better. Give me a break. The question is, why did he feel bad to begin with? Malfunction was rejected by Sub Pop for not being grungy enough. The EP Shine was pretty grungy. Yo. What about Apple? Here's the songs. 1. This is Shangri-La. 2. Stardog Champion. 3. Holy Roller. 4. Bone China. 5. Come Bite the Apple. 6. Stargazer. 7. Heartshine. 8. Captain High Top. 9. Man of Golden Words. 10. Capricorn Sister. 11. Gentle Groove. 12. Mr. Danny Boy. 13. Crown of Thorns. And 14. Lady Godiva Blues. Apple was released posthumously to positive reviews. Chris Cornell, a former roommate of Woods, and Soundgarden tunesmith, wrote 2 songs expressing his grief, Reach Down and Say Hello to Heaven, as a tribute. Matt Cameron, Mike McCready, and Eddie Vedder joined Cornell in Temple of the Dog as a further tribute to Wood. One self-titled album was released. Here is Temple of the Dog. 1. Say Hello to Heaven. 2. Reach Down. 3. Hunger Strike. 4. Pushing Forward Back. 5. Call Me a Dog. 6. Times of Trouble. 7. Wooden Jesus. 8. Your Savior. 9. Four-Walled World. 10. All Night Thing. And these songs were carefully crafted. The participants wanted a fitting tribute for Wood, but did not want to be seen as capitalizing on his death. Was there an anti-drug campaign? That's a good question. Pearl Jam is a Hall of Fame band. They have been called the 8th greatest live act of all time. Ament and Gossard were devastated by the death of Wood, and his band Mother Love Bone, Mike McCready's band Shadow, had faded to black, and I don't mean black metal. McCready urged Gossard to reconnect with Arendt. They collaborated on a 5-song demo. The tape was used to attract a singer and a drummer. Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer Jack Irons was given the demo. Irons passed and gave the demo to Eddie Vedder in San Diego. Vedder was a surfer. He claims that the ideas for lyrics came to him while surfing. He recorded vocals to 3 of the 5 songs, Alive, Once, and Footsteps. Vedder sent the tapes back to Seattle, impressing the 3 future Pearl Jammers. They paid for Vedder to fly north for an audition. Mookie Blaylock was born. Why call the band Mookie Blaylock? Not because he was a New Jersey Net, Golden State Warriors, possibly? His jersey number was 10, and Pearl Jam's debut album was titled 10. Is this a coincidence? Of course, Pearl Jam is huge. One of the big 4 Seattle bands in the 90s. But they are also well known for shunning current music industry practices with no videos and few interviews. They also sued Ticketmaster, who had found to be ticket gouging and monopolizing the ticket market, and thus affecting venue for all performers. When Mookie Blaylock was signed by Epic, the band, not the basketball player, the name was changed to Pearl Jam. Now, Vedder told interviewers that the name was derived from a recipe used by his Native American great-grandmother consisting of peyote laced jam. Her name was Pearl. Is all of this true? No, not at all. Avant came up with Pearl, and Jam was added as a reference to Neil Young's improvisations, stretching out his radio hits to 10 to 15 minute performances in concert. Matt Chamberlain replaced Dave Cruzen on drums, as Cruzen had checked himself into rehab facility. Matt came from Eddie Brickell and the New Bohemians. Cruzen's alcohol abuse had dictated his life, and his decision to enter rehab was viewed as heroic. And unlike Andy Wood, Cruzen got clean and sober and is still drumming today with Candlebox. Chamberlain was temporary. He recommended Dave Ambrosies as a replacement when he left to join the Saturday Night Live band in New York City and a successful session drumming career. He is now with Bob Dylan's touring band as of 2019, and I got a chance to see them play pretty near where I live. You know, I gotta tell you something. Bob Dylan is my favorite artist of all time, but the sound on this concert was really bad. I mean, the bass was so loud you could barely hear Bob singing. I don't know why, but whoever was working the soundboard just didn't have it together. Just wasn't the right sound for that particular auditorium. But I've seen him down in the Egyptian Room, and my God, he's great. Back to Pearl Jam. Alive, Even Flow, and Jeremy were the hit singles from 10. Alive is a look at Oedipal relations, and Jeremy is about a kid who shot himself in front of classmates. Pearl Jam was not a love song and ballad band, so much is evident. Alice in Chains, Nirvana, and Soundgarden and Pearl Jam are the big four. And I think Stone Temple Pilots should be given a share as well. They're from San Diego though, but so is Vader. So anyhow, Pearl Jam's 10 stayed on the Billboard chart for nearly 5 years, becoming one of the best-selling rock records of all time, going 13 platinum. 13 times platinum. That is diamond status plus. The idiotic NME magazine accused Pearl Jam of trying to steal money from young alternative kids' pockets. Kurt Cobain got on board with this, calling Pearl Jam sellouts. The 10 was not a true alt album because it had guitar leads. Vader and Cobain reconciled prior to Cobain's death in 1994. Seriously relentless tours began in support of 10. Their live shows were legendary. It was the beginning of a new era, and try as one might, there was no stopping it. Grunge was a thing. It was overwhelming. Pearl Jam soon became uncomfortable with their success, a la Kurt Cobain. Much of the burden of the band's popularity fell on Vader. The label pressured him to make a video for Black. He wouldn't. Vader felt that a music video only served to rob the audience of their impression of the song. That was history. That was his story. And he stuck to it. Yeah. No videos became a Pearl Jam trend, as Ament agreed, saying that 10 years from now, I don't want people to remember our songs as videos. Second album, VS, sold very close to 1 million copies in its first week. This is a record, as in Guinness Book of Records. The singles were Go, Daughter, Animal, and Dissident. The band set a cap on ticket prices to discourage scalpers. Then it was found that Ticketmaster was gouging Pearl Jam's customers. Ticketmaster controlled most major venues at that time, it was a monopoly and a violation of antitrust regulations. Actually, Section 2 of the Sherman Act. The U.S. Department of Justice was called on to investigate, and Pearl Jam were called to testify to a Senate subcommittee in July of 1994. Pearl Jam canceled its summer tour as a protest of Ticketmaster. Pearl Jam also insisted that their albums be released on vinyl without singles. Third album, Vitalogy, was delayed as well. Tensions inside the band increased. Drummer Dave Ambrosius was fired for disagreeing with Vader about the Ticketmaster boycott. Jack Irons replaced him. Single Better Man went to number 1. No other bands joined the boycott. What's more, the Pearl Jam boycott nearly ended the band. But after 3 years, they relented. In 1998, Jack Irons left, replaced by Soundgarden drummer Matt Cameron, who placed his Pearl Jam antitrust lawsuit was unsuccessful. Pearl Jam returned to Ticketmaster-controlled venues for the sake of the fans who had trouble finding Pearl Jam at the out-of-the-way venues that Ticketmaster did not own. There's much more to this band than I have expressed. I still feel like Soundgarden is a band I'd probably turn to first. I really do like Stone Temple Pilots, but Pearl Jam has gone one up for me on Nirvana. As a result of my effort, I'm sure Eddie and the guys are pleased about that. No, they don't know me. I don't think they'll ever know me, but if they ever do, hey guys, good going. I like your style. Here's the discography post-Vitalogy. 96, No Code. 98, Yield. 2000, Binaural. 02, Riot Act. 06, Pearl Jam. 09, Backspacer. And 13, Lightning Bolt. And sometimes I'll be driving in my car and I'll have the radio on, which I hardly ever do anymore because there's hardly anything good on the radio. But then, all of a sudden, a song like Jeremy will come on. Wow, it just really jumps out at you on the radio. It just really, really speaks to me. A Better Man? What's a better song than that? So yeah, Pearl Jam. They deserve what they get. One of the best bands ever. Probably one of the best bands that ever will be. I was wrong about them. I thought they were too grungy and too weird and something I didn't like. I didn't want to go grunge. I liked Nirvana a little bit at first, then it grew on me, and then I started listening to some of the other grunge bands, and I said, well, this is not grunge. This is not grungy. This is rock. They just needed another genre to separate grunge rock bands from other rock bands and alt-rock bands, but it's all rock. And Pearl Jam has saved rock. And they still are. And I wish them nothing but the best. Do you agree with me? Please comment. Let me hear what you have to say. I'd really like to know. I'm East Coast Pete. This is my show, How Rock is Saved. Very soon we're going to start our one-hit wonder series. Keep an eye out for that. Bye now.